Panelists, let me just go right down the line real fast. What percent of our atmosphere is CO2? Take your best guess. You don't have to be accurate. All down the line.
Repeat that question.
What percent of our atmosphere is CO2, carbon dioxide? Wild guess, it's okay.
About 5%.
5?
I'll just follow you then.
We'll go 7. That's my favorite number.
I'll see their 5 and suggest that we know that transportation causes 49% of CO2. So that's why we're all working on
Okay.
energy transition.
All right. So what number do you think it is?
5.
5? How about you? I didn't hear you, Mr. Dreyer.
7.
7. Did you have one, Mr. Boyd?
So we got 5, 7,
Price is right.
8. I'm gonna
Okay.
get the high end.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I don't mean to put you on ice. I ask a lot of people that because all we hear is climate change, CO2, CO2. I heard a couple of you on the panel saying you're looking to change your vehicles to electric, even though we don't have the electric grid. And me as a farmer, I wouldn't be real happy about running out and replacing $300,000, $500,000, $1 million pieces of equipment because someone wants it to be electric. The answer is 0.04%. Not 1%, not a half of a percent. It's 0.04%. And it's gone up from 0.03 over the last couple decades. This is what we're being all contorted into doing is this tiny change in CO2. If we get below 0.02, plant life starts dying off. So let me ask Mr. Boyd, what are a lot of your vehicles Tier 4 already, or the vehicles that you know about in the industry?
Yes.
All right, so that's the cleanest burning diesel equipment you can get, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about Mr. Dreyer? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. So why would anybody be anxious to go out and change out all those vehicles that you've been upgrading? In my home state of California, CARB has eliminated lots of equipment. Trucks, we're down at least 70,000 truckers, and all because they don't make a mandate for a 2011 and newer vehicle. And so it's going to be harder to get things from the ports, all this, all that. So anyway, I just wanted to underline that as we all get all giddy about trying to make everything electric, especially in my home state when they're shutting down the power grid and taking out hydroelectric dams. And they barely kept in place the nuclear power plant for an additional 5 years, which is 9% of our grid. I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know how you guys would do construction out in remote areas where there isn't power lines yet nearby or what have you in order to charge this stuff. Maybe you'll bring generators. So anyway, thank you for letting me rant on that a little bit. Mr. Boyd, what are some of the challenges of trying to get permits to get stone, sand, and gravel available, especially like in places like California, where just a few years ago, and I don't know what's current now, but in order to get these products into the Bay Area, they gave up getting it locally. They barged it in from British Columbia and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what we talked about a while ago on Buy America. Using your district as a great example, if these exclusions are not made on the construction materials end, I don't know how your district's going to get any projects done, just due to the permitting issues that you currently have. You have no other option but to bring it in outside of America.
From somewhere else, a long ways away, lot longer transportation, right?
Oh, no question.
Yeah, Mr. Dreyer, when we're talking about the Infrastructure Act here, where there was attempts in this committee, attempts in Congress to make it not what it ended up being, at least on the highway section, but get rid of the ability to add highway capacity, downgrading projects, and instead Secretary Buttigieg put in performance measurements to reduce CO2 and greenhouse gas from highway transportation. These are holding up projects. So this was supposed to be in the so-called Infrastructure Act that the president and Democrats pretty much did on their own in the last session. The House Republicans didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to help shape. So the intent of Congress ended up being, by the time it got through the House and the Senate, to do a bill that would be a little more broad in transportation projects. So give me your interpretation of what we ended up with if we can't add lanes and we can't do the things that are actually going to upgrade infrastructure. You're going to have to go fast. Sorry.
I don't have any information on that question.
No info? Okay, well, buying, again, like in my home state, they'll put out a new gas tax, for example, put that in place. And then by the time it gets passed, the voters have agreed to it. They pull the rug out from under them, ends up going for bike paths, buying land and things like that. And it can't go for lane capacity expansion for infrastructure. They can barely keep the focus on fixing infrastructure we have, or certainly adding to it, like what real people want. So instead we get high-speed rail, which is half of it's underwater in the Central Valley right now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield back.